He who would trade liberty for some temporary security deserves neither liberty nor security. War is when the government tells you who the bad guy is. Revolution is when you decide that for yourself. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. If everyone is thinking alike, then no one is thinking. Make yourself sheep and the wolves will eat you. We are all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid. It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools that don't have brains enough to be honest. Security without liberty is called prison. Little minds think and talk about people. Average minds think and talk about things and actions. Great minds think and talk about ideas. A long life may not be good enough, but a good life is long enough. Change is the only constant in life. One's ability to adapt to those changes will determine your success in life. The problem with doing nothing is not knowing when you're finished. In free governments, the rulers are the servants, and the people their superiors and sovereigns. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle. Being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn. I never knew a man who was good at making excuses, who was good at anything else. Common sense is something that everyone needs, few have, and none think they lack. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Common sense without education is better than education without common sense. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Genius is the ability to hold one's vision steady until it becomes reality. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. Take the money in your wallet and invest it in your mind, and in return, your mind will fill up your wallet. Well done is better than well said. Those who beat their swords into plowshares usually end up plowing for those who kept their swords. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. If you do tomorrow what you did today, you will get tomorrow what you got today. The only thing that is more expensive than education is ignorance. The best of all medicines is resting and fasting. The man who does things makes mistakes, but he doesn't make the biggest mistake of all, doing nothing. If better is possible, good is not enough. They that can give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. The U.S. Constitution doesn't guarantee happiness, only the pursuit of it. You have to catch up with it yourself. There are two ways to increase your wealth: increase your means or decrease your wants. The best is to do both at the same time. Doing your best means never stop trying. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. By improving yourself, the world is made better. Be not afraid of growing too slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. Your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones. Out of adversity comes opportunity. Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. There are many roads to success, but only one sure road to failure, and that is to try to please everyone else. Lost time is never found again. The world is run by the people who show up. When you are good to others, you are best to yourself. How few there are who have courage enough to own their faults, or resolution enough to mend them. Happiness depends more on the inward disposition of mind than on outward circumstances. Success is the residue of planning. Your argument is sound, nothing but sound. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. Reading makes a full man, meditation a profound man, discourse a clear man. Those who laugh often never grow old. Women are books, and men the readers be. Half the truth is often a great lie. Most men die from the neck up at age 25 because they stop dreaming. Two passions have powerful influence on the affairs of men: the love of power and the love of money. How many observe Christ's birthday? How few his precepts? Sell not virtue to purchase wealth, nor liberty to purchase power. Without freedom of thought there can be no such thing as wisdom, and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. If you would persuade, you must appeal to interest rather than intellect. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. A people who chose security over liberty will receive neither nor deserve either. To find out a girl's faults, praise her to her girlfriends. The man that walks with crowd will get no farther than the crowd. The man that walks alone will reach places unknown. When you're finished changing, you're finished. When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. To succeed, jump as quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusions. A good example is the best sermon. Be cheerful. The problems that worry us most are those that never arrive. The best tranquilizer is a clear conscience. Keep conscience clear, then never fear. Sin is not hurtful because it is forbidden, but it is forbidden because it is hurtful. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. A lie stands on one leg, truth on two. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Whatever you become, be good at it. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. You must always be prepared. Make sure to look at things from all angles. If you are not prepared, you will fail. Most men die at 25. We just don't bury them until they are 70. There are 3 things extremely hard: steal, a diamond, and to know oneself. He that would live in peace and at ease must not speak all he knows nor judge all he sees. To err is human, to repent divine, to persist devilish. A good conscience is a continual Christmas. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. You may delay, but time will not. The strictest law sometimes becomes the severest injustice. He that is of the opinion money will do everything may well be suspected of doing everything for money. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. The noblest question in the world is, what good may I do in it? A false friend and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. He that displays too often his wife and his wallet is in danger of having both of them borrowed. You will find the key to success under the alarm clock. He that cannot obey cannot command. The doors of wisdom are never shut. Plow deep while sluggards sleep. Fart for freedom, fart for liberty, and fart proudly. Great hopes make everything great possible. Speak little, do much. People are best convinced by things they themselves discover. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. The learned fool writes his nonsense in better language than the unlearned, but it is still nonsense. The best doctor gives the least medicines. We constantly change the world, even by our inaction. Therefore, let us change it responsibly. The discontented man finds no easy chair. A brother may not be a friend, but a friend will always be a brother. Don't judge men's wealth or godliness by their Sunday appearance. I wake up every morning at 9 and grab for the morning paper. Then I look at the obituary page. If my name is not on it, I get up. The height of foolishness is to discard an opportunity without full investigation. Time is money. Waste it now. Pay for it later. Speak ill of no man, but speak all the good you know of everybody. Motivation is when your dreams put on work clothes. Eat to live, not live to eat. The doorstep to the temple of wisdom is a knowledge of our own ignorance. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Lose no time. Be always employed in something useful. Diligence is the mother of good luck. Waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. That which hurts also instructs. If you want to make a friend, let someone do you a favor. Great beauty, great strength, and great riches are really and truly of no great use. A right heart exceeds all. You can do anything you set your mind to. You can't tell anyone anything. You have to teach people for them to remember. Let the person experience what you are teaching, and they will learn. Many a man thinks he is buying pleasure when he is really selling himself to it. Never leave that till tomorrow which you can do today. He that composes himself is wiser than he that composes a book. Let the child's first lesson be obedience, and the second will be what thou wilt. One day is worth 1,000 tomorrows. Genius is nothing but a greater aptitude for patience. A wise man will desire no more than what he may get justly, use soberly, distribute cheerfully, and leave contently. I didn't fail the test, I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. If you watch your pennies, the pounds will take care of themselves. Guests, like fish, begin to smell after 3 days. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. If you want a thing done, go. If not, send. Everybody's human, everybody makes mistakes. If you laugh it off and keep going and try to give it your best the next time around, people respect that. Beware of the young doctor and the old barber. The way to wealth depends on just 2 words: industry and frugality. People willing to trade their freedom for temporary security deserve neither, and will lose both. Clean your finger before you point at my spots. The cat in gloves catches no mice. The tongue offends and the ears get the cuffing. We should make the poor uncomfortable and kick them out of poverty. Silence, speak not but what may benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. Content makes poor men rich. Discontent makes rich men poor. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. Let each new year find you a better person. A good spouse and health is a person's best wealth. Those who desire to give up freedom in order to gain security will not have either one. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. He's the best physician that knows the worthlessness of most medicines. Take time for all things. Great haste makes great waste. A man must have a good deal of vanity who believes, and a good deal of boldness who affirms, that all the doctrines he holds are true, and all he rejects are false. In the dark, all cats are gray. He's a fool who cannot conceal his wisdom. If you want something done, ask a busy person. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Industry pays debts, while despair increases them. Eat what you like, but dress for other people. Little leaks sink the ship. Money makes money, and the money that makes money makes more money. I fear the man who drinks water and so remembers this morning what the rest of us said last night. Trouble knocked at the door, but, hearing laughter, hurried away. Every pot must sit on its own bottom. Observe all men, thyself most. And education is the investment with the greatest returns. It is hard for an empty bag to stand upright. Time is an herb that cures all diseases. To cease to think creatively is to cease to live. Take a coin from your purse and invest it in your mind. It will come pouring out of your mind and overflow your purse. It is very hard to dislike someone you have helped. A slip of the foot you may soon recover, but a slip of the tongue you may never get over. He that best understands the world, least likes it. Leisure is the time for doing something useful. I have found Christian dogma unintelligible. Early in life, I absenteed myself from Christian assemblies. Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. Those things that hurt instruct. Joy doesn't exist in the world, it exists in us. Poverty wants some things, luxury many things, avarice all things. At 20 years of age the will reigns, at 30 the wit, and at 40 the judgment. There are 3 faithful friends, an old wife, an old dog, and ready money. No gains without pains. Words may show a man's wit, but actions his meaning. It is better to let 100 criminals go free than to imprison one innocent man. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. A learned blockhead is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one. Virtue alone is sufficient to make a man great, glorious, and happy. All mankind is divided into three classes: those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. Industry, perseverance, and frugality make fortune yield. Beware of meat twice boiled, and an old foe reconciled. There is much difference between imitating a good man and counterfeiting him. To be humble to superiors is a duty, to equals courtesy, to inferiors nobleness. The securest place is a prison cell, but there is no liberty. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Be civil to all, serviceable to many, familiar with few, friend to one, enemy to none. He that is rich need not live sparingly, and he that can live sparingly need not be rich. 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Wise men don't need advice, fools won't take it. The best investment is in the tools of one's own trade. It is a bad temper of mind that takes delight in opposition. Promises may get thee friends, but non-performance will turn them into enemies. When circumstances don't fit our ideas, they become our difficulties. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Moderation in all things, including moderation. Disdain the chain, preserve your freedom, and maintain your independency. Be industrious and free. Be frugal and free. The rotten apple spoils his companion. Why ruin a young girl's life when you can make an older woman so very happy? There is no little enemy. What can laws do without morals? They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. There never was a good war or a bad peace. Who is rich? He that rejoices in his portion. There never was a truly great man that was not at the same time truly virtuous. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Nothing is more fatal to health than an overcare of it. Pride that dines on vanity sups on contempt. Wish not so much to live long as to live well. But our great security lies, I think, in our growing strength. In success be moderate. Humility makes great men twice honorable. He that won't be counseled can't be helped. He that speaks much is much mistaken. A penny saved is a penny earned. I have sometimes almost wished it had been my destiny to be born 2 or 3 centuries hence. Write your injuries in dust, your benefits in marble. Reckless youth makes rueful age. Remember that 6 pounds a year is but a groat a day. Wise men learn by others' harms, fools scarcely by their own. If men are so wicked as we now see them with religion, what would they be if without it? He is not well bred that cannot bear ill breeding in others. Silence is not always a sign of wisdom, but babbling is ever a mark of folly. The problem with common sense is, it isn't. You may delay, but time will not, and lost time is never found again. The absent are never without fault, nor the present without excuse. A man wrapped up in himself makes a very small bundle. None but the well-bred man knows how to confess a fault or acknowledge himself in an error. Many complain of their memory, few of their judgment. If you would know the value of money, go and try to borrow some. It is the religion of ignorance that tyranny begins. Creditors have better memories than debtors. Many foxes grow gray, but few grow good. Lighthouses are more helpful than churches. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Sloth, like rust, consumes faster than labor wears, while the used key is always bright. The only time a question should be asked is when all other possibilities of finding the answer for yourself have been eliminated. The second vice is lying, the first is running in debt. Pride is said to be the last vice the good man gets clear of. Wars are not paid for in wartime, the bill comes later. If I could see one live show before I died, I'd see Lucy Angel. Where sense is wanting, everything is wanting. Nothing preaches better than the act. If you would be wealthy, think of saving as well as getting. A bargain is something you have to find a use for once you have bought it. Families ought to be noisy. If you have time, don't wait for time. Eat few suppers, and you'll need few medicines. If you know how to spend less than you get, you have the philosopher's stone. Idle hands are the devil's playthings. By playing at chess, then, we may learn, first, foresight, second, circumspection, third, caution. There will be sleeping enough in the grave. If you would keep your secret from an enemy, tell it not to a friend. Remember that credit is money. 10, wax and parchment govern the world. Pardoning the bad is injuring the good. He that goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. Necessity never made a good bargain. Presumption first blinds a man, then sets him a-running. Where there is hunger, law is not regarded, and where law is not regarded, there will be hunger. Women and wine, game and deceit make the wealth small and the want great. Eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. A quarrelsome man has no good neighbors. He that can have patience can have what he will. All would live long, but none would be old. A full belly brings forth every evil. Practice makes perfect. Little boats should keep near shore. Think of these things, whence you came, where you are going, and to whom you must account. Fatigue is the best pillow. Our whole life is but a greater and longer childhood. One good husband is worth 2 good wives, for the scarcer things are, the more they are valued. If you would have a faithful servant, and one that you like, serve yourself. No European who has tasted savage life can afterwards bear to live in our societies. I am Lord of myself, accountable to none. Here is my creed. I believe in one God, the creator of the universe, that he governs it by his providence, that he ought to be worshipped. Be ashamed to catch yourself idle. In America, they do not inquire of a stranger, what is he, but what can he do? Don't go to the doctor with every distemper, nor to the lawyer with every quarrel, nor to the pot for every thirst. Whoever shall introduce into public affairs the principles of primitive Christianity will change the face of the world. The early morning has gold in its mouth. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. An old man in a house is a good sign. When you are in debt, then you are a slave. Take time for all things. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. Human happiness comes not from infrequent pieces of good fortune, but from the small improvements to daily life. Those who in quarrels interpose must often wipe a bloody nose. We are more heavily taxed by our idleness, pride, and folly than we are taxed by government. Nothing but money is sweeter than honey. You will observe with concern how long a useful truth may be known and exist before it is generally received and practiced on. One of the greatest tragedies of life is the murder of a beautiful theory by a gang of brutal facts. If you have no honey in your pot, have some in your mouth. He that has done you a kindness will be more ready to do you another than he whom you yourself have obliged. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Don't you know that all wives are in the right? It may be you don't, for you are yet a young husband. Look before, or you'll find yourself behind. If you have something to do tomorrow, do it today. You cannot pluck roses without fear of thorns, nor enjoy a fair wife without danger of horns. He was so learned that he could name a horse in 9 languages, so ignorant that he bought a cow to ride on. When you speak to a man, look on his eyes. When he speaks to you, look on his mouth. Arguing is a game that two can play at, but it is a strange game in that neither opponent ever wins. Necessity knows no law. I know some attorneys of the same. He that pursues 2 hares at once does not catch one and lets the other go. Your best investment is to pour your purse into your head, and no one can take it away from you. Glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked and never well mended. An honest man will receive neither money nor praise. That is not his due. If you would be loved, love, and be lovable. Do good to your friends to keep them, to your enemies to win them. Laws without morals are in vain. Energy and persistence conquer all things. When you are done changing, you're done. Flesh eating is unprovoked murder. Hunger is the best pickle. Are you angry that others disappoint you? Remember, you cannot depend upon yourself. If you would not be laughed at, be the first to laugh at yourself. Reading was the only amusement I allowed myself. Don't throw stones at your neighbors if your own windows are glass. Nature performs the cure, the physician takes the fee. The best is the cheapest. Praise little, dispraise less. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. Write to please yourself. When you write to please others, you end up pleasing no one. Alas, I know if I ever became truly humble, I would be proud of it. Sloth and silence are a fool's virtues. Fools need advice most, but wise men only are the better for it. Lying rides upon death's back. Anger is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one. A man in a passion rides a mad horse. Without justice, courage is weak. On being asked what condition of man he considered the most pitiable, a lonesome man on a rainy day who does not know how to read. The poor have little, beggars none, the rich too much, enough, not one. He that lives well is learned enough. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of. The person who deserves most pity is a lonesome one on a rainy day who doesn't know how to read. Drive your business. Let not your business drive you. The devil wipes his breach with poor folks' pride. The devil wipes his breach with poor folks' pride. An old young man will be a young old man. The proof of gold is fire. Don't misinform your doctor nor your lawyer. Quacks are the greatest liars in the world except their patients. The busy man has few idle visitors. To the boiling pot the flies come not. The borrower is a slave to the lender, and the debtor to the creditor. Fish and visitors stink in 3 days. Experience is the best teacher, but a fool will learn from no other. There's small revenge in words, but words may be greatly revenged. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. You may give a man office, but you cannot give him discretion. After 3 days men grow weary of a wench, a guest, and weather rainy. After 3 days men grow weary of a wench, a guest, and weather rainy. Take one thing with another, and the world is a pretty good sort of a world, and it is our duty to make the best of it, and be thankful. Laws too gentle are seldom obeyed, too severe, seldom executed. If you would have guests merry with your cheer, be so yourself, or so at least appear. Let the experiment be made. Do not do that which you would not have known. Death takes no bribes. The honest man takes pains, and then enjoys pleasures. The knave takes pleasure, and then suffers pains. Admiration is the daughter of ignorance. What I am to be, I am now becoming. Spare when young, and spend when old. An investment in education always pays the highest returns. But the eyes of other people are the eyes that ruin us. If all but myself were blind, I should want neither fine clothes, fine houses, nor fine furniture. Rarely use venery but for health or offspring, never to dullness, weakness, or the injury of your own or another's peace or reputation. The one who fails to prepare is preparing to fail. It takes many good deeds to build a good reputation, and only one bad one to lose it. If you would be revenged of your enemy, govern yourself. Each year one vicious habit discarded, in time might make the worst of us good. The use of money is all the advantage there is in having money. Be sober and temperate, and you will be healthy. Read much, but not too many books. The same man cannot be both friend and flatterer. The same man cannot be both friend and flatterer. After getting the first £100, it is more easy to get the second. Make use of your friends by being of use to them. Hear reason, or she'll make you feel her. You cannot always run from a weakness. You must sometime fight it out or perish. Be not sick too late, nor well too soon. A word to the wise is enough, and many words won't fill a bushel. Avarice and happiness never saw each other. How then should they become acquainted? 'Tis a common observation here that our cause is the cause of all mankind, and that we are fighting for their liberty in defending our own. Be neither silly nor cunning, but wise. Some are weatherwise, some are otherwise. Sloth makes all things difficult, but industry all things easy. Most people return small favors, acknowledge medium ones, and repay greater ones with ingratitude. Why should I give my readers bad lines of my own when good ones of other people's are so plenty? An undutiful daughter will prove an unmanageable wife. A little neglect may breed great mischief. A man of knowledge like a rich soil feeds, if not a world of corn, a world of weeds. For age and want save while you may, no morning sun lasts a whole day. He that hath a trade hath an estate. Nothing is so tiresome to oneself, as well as so odious to others, as disguise and affectation. Creditors are a superstitious sect, great observers of set days and times. Trusting too much to others' care is the ruin of many. Diligence overcomes difficulties, sloth makes them. Pain wastes the body, pleasures the understanding. To be thrown upon one's own resources is to be cast in the very lap of fortune. As we must account for every idle word, so must we account for every idle silence. Honesty is the best policy. Bad gains are true losses. The eye of the master will do more work than both his hands. Those who give up their liberty for more security neither deserve liberty nor security. Watch the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. Rich widows are the only second-hand goods that sell at first-class prices. Pay what you owe and you'll know what's your own. He that spends a groat a day idly spends idly above 6 liters a year, which is the price of using 100 liters. To bear other people's afflictions, everyone has courage and enough to spare. For the best return on your money, pour your purse into your head. It is foolish to lay out money for the purchase of repentance. Idleness is the Dead Sea that swallows all virtues. Many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. An egg today is better than a hen tomorrow. Beware the hobby that eats. Anger and folly walk cheek by jowl. Trouble springs from idleness, and grievous toil from needless ease. Nothing brings more pain than too much pleasure, nothing more bondage than too much liberty. Great talkers should be cropped, for they've no need of ears. Wink at small faults, remember thou hast great ones. Experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other. Passion governs, and she never governs wisely. A republic, if you can keep it. 9 men in 10 are suicides. Would you live with ease, do what you ought, and not what you please? He that drinks his cider alone, let him catch his horse alone. The church, the state, and the poor are three daughters which we should maintain, but not portion off. There was never a good war or a bad peace. He who is in love with himself has no rivals. Did not strong connections draw me elsewhere, I believe Scotland would be the country I would choose to end my days in. I believe there is one supreme, most perfect being. Having been poor is no shame, but being ashamed of it is. If time be of all things the most precious, wasting time must be the greatest prodigality. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. Distrust and caution are the parents of security. Use no hurtful deceit, think innocently and justly, and if you speak, speak accordingly. Poverty often deprives a man of all spirit and virtue. It is hard for an empty bag to stand upright. Idleness and pride tax with a heavier hand than kings and governments. Setting too good an example is a kind of slander seldom forgiven. All wars are follies, very expensive and very mischievous ones. Hot things, sharp things, sweet things, cold things all rot the teeth, and make them look like old things. When will mankind be convinced and agree to settle their difficulties by arbitration? Cold and cunning come from the north, but cunning sans wisdom is nothing worth. Suspicion may be no fault, but showing it may be a great one. Lend money to an enemy, and thou wilt gain him. To a friend, and thou wilt lose him. Cunning proceeds from want of capacity. What is best for people is what they do for themselves. Hear no ill of a friend, nor speak any of an enemy. Where there's no law, there's no bread. After crosses and losses men grow humbler and wiser. If we do not hang together, we shall surely hang separately. We may give advice, but we cannot give conduct. The worst wheel of the cart makes the most noise. No nation was ever ruined by trade. When women cease to be handsome, they study to be good. A great empire, like a great cake, is most easily diminished at the edges. Men and melons are hard to know. To whom you betray your secret, you sell your liberty. As often as we do good, we sacrifice. Think what you do when you run in debt. You give to another power over your liberty. Time is money. Love, cough, and a smoke can't well be hid. The foundation of all happiness in thinking rightly. 3 things are men most likely to be cheated in: a horse, a wig, and a wife. Life with fools consists in drinking, with the wise man living thinking. Genius without education is like silver in the mine. Little rogues easily become great ones. If you wouldn't live long, live well, for folly and wickedness shorten life. Forewarned, forearmed. There cannot be good living where there is not good drinking. What is the use of a newborn child? If you want to be loved, love and be lovable. The people heard it and approved the doctrine and immediately practiced the contrary. He that hath a calling hath an office of profit and honor. The ancients tell us what is best, but we must learn of the moderns what is fittest. Lost time can never be found again. When wine enters, out goes the truth. Experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other, and scarce in that. For it is true we may give advice, but we cannot give conduct. Vicious actions are not hurtful because they are forbidden, but forbidden because they are hurtful. Love well, wit well. A countryman between two lawyers is like a fish between two cats. If you'd be beloved, make yourself amiable. A true friend is the best possession. He that takes a wife takes care. Little strokes fell great oaks. Great talkers are little doers. When men are employed, they are best contented. There is always room for the man of force. Those who sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither. Take courage, mortal. Death can't banish thee out of the universe. Thinking aloud is a habit which is responsible for most of mankind's misery. Since I cannot govern my own tongue, though within my own teeth, how can I hope to govern the tongue of others? Lost time is never found again, and what we call time enough always proves little enough. The proud hate pride in others. A change of fortune hurts a wise man no more than a change of the moon. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. It is only when the rich are sick that they fully feel the impotence of wealth. We must, indeed, all hang together, or, most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. There are lazy minds as well as lazy bodies. Before you consult your fancy, consult your purse. If you give up your freedom for safety, you don't deserve either one. I have found Christian dogma unintelligible. It would be thought a hard government that should tax its people 1/10 part. The handshake of the host affects the taste of the roast. The moral and religious system which Jesus Christ transmitted to us is the best the world has ever seen or can see. The U.S. Constitution only guarantees your rights as a citizen, It doesn't guarantee happiness. It may take work, but if you have your rights, happiness is very possible. The use key is always bright. If you desire many things will seem few. He that waits upon fortune is never sure of a dinner. In general, mankind, since the improvement of cookery, eats twice as much as nature requires. Beauty and folly are old companions. A life of leisure and a life of laziness are two things. There will be sleeping enough in the grave. Even peace may be purchased at too high a price. Drive thy business, or it will drive thee. If you do what you should not, you must bear what you would not. In order for 3 people to keep a secret, 2 must be dead. There will be plenty of time to sleep once you are dead. Success has ruined many a man. Let thy vices die before thee. If we give up freedom for security, we are in danger of losing both. He's a fool that makes his doctor his heir. Those who are willing to forfeit liberty for security will have neither. Do not fear mistakes. The goodwill of the governed will be starved if not fed by the good deeds of the governors. There is none deceived but he that trusts. A spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar. The greatest monarch on the proudest throne is obliged to sit upon his own arse. Neglect mending a small fault, and 'twill soon be a great one. When nature gave us tears, she gave us leave to weep. A flatterer never seems absurd. The flattered always takes his word. Cut the wings of your hands and hopes, lest they lead you a weary dance after them. If you'd lose a troublesome visitor, lend him money. The first degree of folly is to conceit oneself wise, the second to profess it, the third to despise counsel. Rules too soft are seldomly followed, rules too harsh are seldomly executed. He's gone and forgot nothing but to say farewell to his creditors. Eyes and priests bear no jests. Display is as false as it is costly. Ere you remark another's sin, bid your own conscience look within. When you taste honey, remember gall. He that pays for work before it's done has but a pennyworth for 2 pence. If you want a neat wife, choose her on a Saturday. Would thou confound thy enemy, be good thyself. Trouble springs from idleness. Contentment makes a poor person rich, and discontent makes a rich person poor. Marry above thy match, and you will get a master. The difficulty lies in finding out an exact measure, but eat for necessity, not pleasure, for lust knows not where necessity ends. Hope is an essential constituent of human life. I believe long habits of virtue have a sensible effect on the countenance. Neither a fortress nor a maidenhead will hold out long after they begin to parley. A penny saved is 2 pence dear, a pin a day as a groat a year. The king's cheese is half wasted in parings, but no matter, 'tis made of the people's milk. Constant dropping wears away stones. Force shites upon reason's back. Hope of gain lessens pain. A man may, if he knows not how to save as he gets, keep his nose to the grindstone. Keep flax from fire and youth from gaming. He is no clown that drives the plow, but he that doth clownish things. Content and riches seldom meet together. Riches take thou, contentment I had rather. One man's fault is worth 2 fine faults, but 1 fine fault is better than 2 make faults. You will discover 3 trustworthy mates, an aged wife, an aged canine, and ready dollars. Kings have long arms, but misfortune longer. Let none think themselves out of her reach. Proclaim not all thou knowest, or all thou owest. Don't think so much of your own cunning as to forget other men's. A cunning man is overmatched by a cunning man and a half. Sarcasm is the lowest form of humor, but the highest form of flattery. Marriage is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which one is most likely to find solid happiness. He that's secure is not safe. He that lieth down with dogs shall rise up with fleas. Fools make feasts and wise men eat them. Proclaim not all thou knowest, all thou knowest, all thou hast, nor all thou canst. Praise to the undeserving is severe satire. To be proud of knowledge is to be blind with light. Be temperate in wine, in eating, girls, and sloth, or the gout will seize you and plague you both. Many dishes, many diseases, many medicines, few cures. Never spare the parson's wine nor the baker's pudding. Take heed of the vinegar of sweet wine and the anger of good nature. A lighthouse is more useful than a church. All things are cheap to the saving, dear to the wasteful. Don't think to hunt 2 hares with 1 dog. Ill customs and bad advice are seldom forgotten. If thou hast wit and learning, add to it wisdom and modesty. He'll cheat without scruple, who can without fear. Great good nature without prudence is a great misfortune. Hunger never saw bad bread. There is nothing so absurd as knowledge spun too fine. It is prodigious the quantity of good that may be done by one man if he will make a business of it. A true friend is the greatest Pisidian. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. The morning daylight appears plainer when you put out your candle. They that will not be counseled cannot be helped. If you do not hear reason, she will rap you on the knuckles. There is no such thing as a good war or a bad peace. Approve not of him who commends all you say. Tomorrow every fault is to be amended, but that tomorrow never comes. The sting of a reproach is the truth of it. Much virtue in herbs, little in men. If you have a secret and tell someone, everyone will know. You can only keep a secret if you don't tell anyone. 'Tis easy to see, hard to foresee. He that lives upon hope will die fasting. Applause waits on success. Our Constitution is in actual operation. Everything appears to promise that it will last. But in this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes. The way to be safe is never to be secure. Virtue and happiness are mother and daughter. When you are finished changing, you are finished. Want of care does us more damage than want of knowledge. Most fools think they are only ignorant. One today is worth 2 tomorrows. Hold your counsel before dinner. The full belly hates thinking as well as acting. Learn of the skillful. He that teaches himself has a fool for his master. Be in general virtuous, and you will be happy. If you'd be wealthy, think of saving more than of getting. The Indies have not made Spain rich, because her outgoes equal her incomes. The art of acting consists in keeping people from coughing. One of the advantages of being a reasonable creature is that one can find a reason for whatever one wants to do. If you have a bald head, don't walk out in the sun because you will get burned. Pride breakfasted with plenty, dined with poverty, and supped with infamy. Life is a kind of chess with struggle, competition, good and ill events. He that rises late must trot all day. Never confuse motion with action. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. Success has ruined many a man. A full belly is the mother of all evil. Do you love life? Then don't waste time, because time is life. Speak with contempt of none, from slave to king. The meanest be hath, and will use a sting. A man compounded of law and gospel is able to cheat a whole country with his religion, and then destroy them under color of law. He that would travel much should eat little. 2 dry sticks will burn a green one. Blame all and praise all are 2 blockheads. Why does the blind man's wife paint herself? Innocence is its own defense. In success be moderate. Strict punctuality is a cheap virtue. To follow by faith alone is to follow blindly. Men take more pains to mask than mend. Many have quarreled about religion that never practice it. The sleeping fox catches no poultry. He who falls in love with himself will have no rivals. No man ought to own more property than needed for his livelihood. The rest, by right, belong to the state. As we benefit from the inventions of others, we should be glad to share our own freely and gladly. One man may be more cunning than another, but not more cunning than everybody else. Fear to do ill, and you need fear else. The key that unlocks a door is a key to keep if you want to go through that door again. Great spenders are bad lenders. Without industry and frugality, nothing will do. With them, everything. Where security exists, liberty and opportunity do not. You may sometimes be much in the wrong in owning you're being in the right. A full belly makes a dull brain. The muses starve in a cook's shop. Vice knows she is ugly, so puts on her mask. The poor man must walk to get meat for his stomach. The rich man to get a stomach to his meat. He does not possess wealth, it possesses him. The things which hurt instruct. He that would fish must venture his bait. What is the recipe for successful achievement? Choose a career you love. Give it the best there is in you. Seize your opportunities and be a member of the team. Can anything be constant in a world which is eternally changing? Teach your child to hold his tongue. He'll learn fast enough to speak. It is much easier to suppress a first desire than to satisfy those that follow. Bargaining has neither friends nor relations. I early found that when I worked for myself alone worked for me. But when I worked for others also, others worked also for me. Money is of a prolific generating nature. Money can beget money, and its offspring can beget more. Where liberty is, there is my country. Prodigality of time produces poverty of mind as well as of the state. In short, the way to wealth, if you desire it, is as plain as the way to market. It depends chiefly on two works, industry and frugality. Patience and market is worth pounds in a year. Keep thy shop, and thy shop will keep thee. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. Do well by doing good. I am a mortal enemy to arbitrary government and unlimited power. I saw few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. The United States Constitutional Convention, except for 3 or 4 persons, thought prayers unnecessary. He who gives up freedom for safety deserves neither. I cannot conceive otherwise than that he, the infinite Father, expects or requires no worship or praise from us, but that he is even infinitely above it. Those who give up liberty for the sake of security deserve neither liberty nor security. I would rather have it said, he lived usefully, than he died rich. Those who would give up liberty for safety deserve neither. Games lubricate the body and the mind. Chess is so interesting in itself as not to need the view of gain to induce engaging in it, and thence it is never played for money. Finding myself to exist in the world, I believe I shall, in some shape or other, always exist. Who pleasure gives, shall joy receive. America cultivates best what Germany brought forth. He that drinks fast, pays slow. Those who would trade in their freedom for their protection deserve neither. The discovery of a wine is of greater moment than the discovery of a constellation. The universe is too full of stars. Dangerous, therefore, is it to take shelter under a tree during a thunder gust. It has been fatal to many, both men and beasts. You can bear your own faults, and why not a fault in your wife? I was surprised to find myself so much fuller of faults than I had imagined, but I had the satisfaction of seeing them diminish. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer shall we be immortal. 'Tis a great confidence in a friend to tell him your faults, greater to tell him his. To be proud of virtue is to poison yourself with the antidote. Love your neighbor, yet don't pull down your hedge. Handle your tools without mittens. We are not so sensible of the greatest health as of the least sickness. I never turned to drink, it seemed to turn to me. Those have a short Lent who owe money to be paid at Easter. Leisure is the time for doing something useful. This leisure the diligent person will obtain, the lazy one never. Here comes the orator with his flood of words and his drop of reason. Wine makes daily living easier, less hurried with fewer tensions and more tolerance. Take counsel in wine, but resolve afterwards in water. Resolve to perform what you ought. Perform without fail what you resolve. She laughs at everything you say. Why? Because she has fine teeth. There never was a good knife made of bad steel. Where there's marriage without love, there will be love without marriage. To all apparent beauties blind, each blemish strikes an envious mind. While we may not be able to control all that happens to us, we can control what happens inside us. Most people die at 25 but are buried at 75. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. Our necessities never equal our wants. A single man has not nearly the value he would have in a state of union. He is an incomplete animal. He resembles the odd half of a pair of scissors. There is no kind of dishonesty into which otherwise good people more easily frequently fall than that of defrauding the government. Interest which blinds some people enlightens others. Time is the stuff life is made of. Getting it done is my reward. A new truth is a truth, an old error is an error. Revealed religion has no weight with me. Taxes on consumption, like those on capital or income, to be just, must be uniform. An assembly of great men is the greatest fool upon earth. He that steals the old man's supper does him no wrong. Historians relate not so much what is done as what they would have believed. Do good to thy friend to keep him, to thy enemy to gain him. I am in the prime of senility. Why? A virtuous heretic shall be saved before a wicked Christian. It's the easiest thing in the world for a man to deceive himself. Venison and venery defeated me. He that can take rest is greater than he that can take cities. When passion rules, she never rules wisely. No employment can be managed without arithmetic, no mechanical invention without geometry. The expenses required to prevent a war are much lighter than those that will, if not prevented, be absolutely necessary to maintain it. By heaven we understand a state of happiness infinite in degree and endless in duration. Make the best use of both time and money. Add industry and frugal dealings if they pay very well, and if you're free to it. Snowy winter, a plentiful harvest. Would you persuade? Speak of interest, not of reason. Some men grow mad by studying much to know, but who grows mad by studying good to grow? Strive to be the best and you may succeed. He may well win the race that runs by himself. It is ill manners to silence a fool and cruelty to let him go on. Don't cry over spilled milk. Many a long dispute among divines may be thus abridged. It is so, it is not so, it is so, it is not so. I look upon death to be as necessary to our constitution as sleep. We shall rise refreshed in the morning. What good shall I do this day? Mine is better than ours. As pride increases, fortune declines. Carelessness does more harm than a want of knowledge. Paintings and fightings are best seen at a distance. I know not which lives more unnatural lives, obeying husbands or commanding wives. When knaves betray each other, one can scarce be blamed or the other pitied. Virtue may not always make a face handsome, but vice will certainly make it ugly. Traveling is one way of lengthening life, at least in appearance. We must hang together, gentlemen. Else we shall most assuredly hang separately. Oh, the wonderful knowledge to be found in the stars. Even the smallest things are written there, if you had but skill to read. When you're testing to see how deep water is, never use 2 feet. If it were not for the belly, the back might wear gold. Idleness and pride tax with a heavier hand than kings and parliaments. If we can get rid of the former, we may easily bear the latter. There have been as great souls unknown to fame as any of the most famous. In rivers and bad governments, the lightest things swim at top. There are more old drunkards than old doctors. I have never seen the philosopher's stone that turns lead into gold, but I have known the pursuit of it turn a man's gold into lead. Better slip with foot than tongue. Nothing great comes without enthusiasm. I wish to live without committing any fault at any time. Singularity in the right hath ruined many. Happy those who are convinced of the general opinion. There are no ugly loves nor handsome prisons. What signifies knowing the names, if you know not the natures of things? Is there anything men take more pains about than to render themselves unhappy? Revelation, indeed, as such had no influence on my mind. Reader, I wish thee health, wealth, happiness, and may kind heaven thy year's industry bless. The thrifty maxim of the wary Dutch is to save all the money they can touch. The miser's cheese is wholesomest. An ounce of wit that is bought is worth a pound that is taught. A little house well filled, a little field well tilled, and a little wife well willed are great riches. A plowman on his legs is higher than a gentleman on his knees. He that sows thorns should never go barefoot. All cats are gray in the dark. Visit your aunt, but not every day, and call at your brother's, but not every night. Fiction or fable allures to instruction. Do not let fancy outrun your means. Stand firm, don't flutter. Many have been ruined by buying good pennyworths. A nod from a lord is a breakfast for a fool. Marry your son when you will, but you daughter when you can. He gives twice that gives soon, aye, he will soon be called to give again. Justice is as strictly due between neighbor nations as between neighbor citizens. Let thy discontents be thy secrets. If the world knows them, 'twill despise thee and increase them. Avoid dishonest gain. No price can recompense the pangs of vice. Let our fathers and grandfathers be valued for their goodness, ourselves for our own. Men's minds do not die with their bodies, but are made more happy or miserable after this life according to their actions. Industry and patience are the surest means of plenty. If you ride a horse, sit close and tight. If you ride a man, sit easy and light.